Welcome to the episode of Where's Wallo. I'm here with Chance the Rapper, Grammy Award winner, philanthropist, entrepreneur. Listen, Starlight is out right now. Listen, and let me just say this. The light is everywhere.
My fault. I don't want to up. It's Starline.
Starline.
But it's okay because the light is a big part.
The light, I call it a light.
I just want to, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, Starline.
I just want to get too far.
Listen, he ain't want to get too far, but listen, at the end of the day, it's like this. We're going to take it all the way back. We're going to take it back before you even knew who this guy was. Because a lot of y'all know him from winning the Grammy, right? Y'all, you know, now he's so far away from that day because, you know, so much didn't happen in life. Like, I think a lot of people didn't understand that once we seen him on the Grammy stage, that after Grammy's over, after the night, the party's over, he got to go back to being a human being and living life. The regular things, he got to eat, he got to live, he got to love, he got to hurt, he got to cry, he got to celebrate, all this type of stuff goes on. But how did we even get to becoming Chance the Rapper?
Man, that's a good question. I feel like I was always into expression. Like I did poetry as a kid. I used to dance. Like I used to, you know, just be a writer and like a creative kid. I didn't know how to paint, but I knew how to do like basically everything else. And I think rap was always, to me, you know, I grew up in Chicago, so like Lupe, Kanye, you feel me, Common, Twista, Do or Die. Yeah. Like it was a lot of it's a lot of like, you know, I think the people that we admired the most as kids, the cool kids, I can't even forget the cool kids. Like that's when I was in high school. That was like the most expressive and like cool and like just futuristic to me way of communicating. And so I just through like when I was in high school, I think my freshman year, I put out my first mixtape. It wasn't like, it's not available online and shit like that, but I was burning CDs since making music since I was a freshman in high school and putting on shows at my school and just like, you know, being the rapper. And I feel like it's been the same, just new episodes and different seasons since then.
Mm-hmm. Now, you do that, and then after that, what happened to get you to on that Grammy stage? After that, you know, because it's like, you know, I don't think people understand that you got to go buy some blank CDs. Mm-hmm. You got to take them back to your people crib. Like you had to do like be a human. You had to. It wasn't no just on your phone. Yeah. And you know, if he had a tower, did he had a 10 CD tower? You got to one CD be the one master, the rest you burn. Then you had to take them. You had to write your name on it because you ain't had no labeler. Yeah. Go hand in hand, and then now life changing.
There's really a lot of it I owe to my dad. You know, my dad, man, he did so much. Like we was just talking about it the other day, like me, my brother, and my dad would be burning CDs all night until it got too late. And he'll let us go to sleep. And he would stay up throughout the night burning the rest of the CDs. So we'd have 2 towers, like by the morning that we woke up. And like you said, we'd package them up. He organized us and was the one that told me and my friends too, like, you know, people that like Vic Mensa was out there with us too. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of my friends, he'd send us to other high schools and we'd be standing in front. And I remember the first show that I ever sold out was Reggie's Rock Club in Chicago on 22nd. And it was like, that was the first time I felt stardom, was, you know what I'm saying? It was like being in front of my kids my age, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this was like, this is a venue though that you go and see, not to say we wasn't a real act, but this is where you go see real, you know, artists, hip hop artists that's touring through Chicago. And us selling that out was like the first time that I really felt like things was real. And I think from there, I always had like a mind state of like, you know, we could throw the shows, we could sell the tickets, we could sell the t-shirts, we can, you know what I'm saying? Like it was I think something that just gave me not pride, but what's the word? Like it just gave me the encouragement. The fuel to be like, oh, we could just keep going. And I think, you know, acid rap being as big as it was and not being eligible for a Grammy gave me more fuel to be like, I'm gonna stick by my, what I believe to be the right way. Like things don't have to be for sale to be considered art or eligible in spaces. And so held that through coloring book, and by then streaming, which was always my way of getting out music. Because like you said, like this, when I first started, it was just CDs, but streaming, before it was like an Apple Music or a Tidal or any of that stuff, you had Audio Mac, you had SoundCloud, YouTube, obviously.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dat Piff, my mixtapes, like there were spaces where you could just put your music up and people from all over the world could access it. And after like, by the time Coloring Book came out, all these other people were, starting their own business in the streaming world, like Apple, like Tidal. And I think that really like opened up the space for all artists to be able to like, to become eligible. And I think really what got me to the Grammy stage above everything was the connection that I like retained with fans from being the person that was willing to, you know what I'm saying? Like it takes a lot to stand up in front of someone and try and pass out CDs or sell tickets and shit. Like, and so once I got that, you know what I'm saying, that understanding of myself and confidence in myself to be able to do that, that carries over to the stage, that carries over to like, to all my interactions with people. And I think the fans, obviously the music was good too, but like that personal interaction, I feel like that galvanized people to be like, this our person, like we gonna go hard for Chance. And Coloring Book, it wasn't number one on the Billboard or nothing, but it was like, it made an impact when it came out. And I think because it was, the same kind of music, true to my faith, you know what I'm saying, that same, connection to the fans and the eagerness to be like, I'm gonna go and perform as much as I can. I'm gonna go and do the radio as much as I can. I'm gonna use my body physically to be where I could be and be, connected to people that like kept that wave going. So I feel like it's a lot of steps to the Grammy stage between me, like, you know what I'm saying? I guess, first deciding I want to be a rapper, which I guess I decided probably when I was like I'm gonna say 7th grade, to being on a Grammy stage at 23 years old. But I think like all of those little steps in between are the same step. It's just in different spaces of my life. You know what I'm saying?
But listen, you said something very important. You said, because acid rap ain't getting acknowledged for Grammy back then. Like, you came out with the whole thing like, I'm going for the Grammy with this. That was in that early stage. You had that mindset.
I feel like everybody that's a rapper has like certain things. I was just saying this to my friends the other day. Like everybody that's a rapper has their own thing or things that they feel like is their measurement of success, and it might be different for other people. So like for me, when I was a kid, I had a video cassette recording that my big cousin gave me of MC Hammer on Saturday Night Live, where he was doing double duty. So he was the performing artist, but he was also the host. So he's in all the sketches. So I think for me, since I was a kid, I wanted to be on SNL. That's not necessarily every other rapper.
No, that's major. SNL is major though.
But it's like, I feel the same way about Wildin' Out. So when I was in 7th grade, Wildin' Out came out. It had Kevin Hart, it had Kanye West, it had, all these crazy guests. Since I was a kid, I always wanted to be on Wild 'N Out. So you see, once I get opportunities of those sorts, I jump at that because that's just what I'm into and that's what I think of as success. So the Grammys, it's like Lauryn Hill, Kanye West, Outkast, Eminem, like all these crazy performances that I used to see sitting up on Sunday night with my mom. It's like, I remember, like, that's something that you carry. So it was like from a kid, it's not like, I'm not saying like I was like, I'm owed these Grammys, but it was like, that's what I think of as like, you know what I'm saying, the top tier. There's a lot of rappers that don't think of it that way, that never had no connection to the Grammys as a means of starting. Don't mean they don't respect the institution, but it's not necessarily, they might've been like, oh, I can't wait to be on this show or to do a concert here or to be on this magazine or to do a collaboration with this fashion designer or whatever. Like people just got their own things that become more attainable because those spaces you know what I'm saying? Not to sound the wrong way, but they need you. They need artists. They need people that are like making excellent music to represent them in those spaces. So it's like, it becomes a trade-off and shit. But like, yeah, since I was a little kid, I was watching the Grammys, like one day I want to be on there because it's like, it's the Grammys.
How did it feel when it happened? How did it feel when they called your name? How did it feel when you seen Coloring Book pop up on the screen and it's like, yo, come down here and get this hardware?
It's a unmatched feeling, I feel like, because it's like I said, this is something that I watched since I was a kid, to be in those spaces and to be, you know, acknowledged for my music and not have to, you know what I'm saying, conform, and to be, you know, I think also like, I didn't expect to win 3 Grammys. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was hoping to just, I was happy to just be nominated. You know what I'm saying? That's really like, you gotta understand this also, like the Grammys propels you forward. Like it is
another level.
It is, you know what I'm saying? It's an award, and it's but it's like after it, like I was able to, like I could have, all the stuff that we did in the Chicago public school system, like that came because the governor reached out to me after I won the Grammys, and I was like, oh, well, let's talk about this. You know what I'm saying? So like I got positioned in a lot of great spaces because of the visibility that just comes with it. It makes people be like, oh, what is this? Like, oh, who won? You know what I'm saying? And then they get to perform. Because when I get a mic, like I do what I do.
Crazy,
you know what I'm saying? So to get to be on the stage and perform, that was a win just in itself. Like I was already thinking about that the whole time going into it. And then, you know, I won the first one. And you know that, like, because everything's not televised, so like half of it.
Some awards they don't show.
You like in a whole nother space. Yeah. So I won the first one. Jimmy Jam gave to me, and I was like with my friends.
But hold up.
Yeah.
How did it feel to have Jimmy Jam? Did like his impact on culture?
Yes.
Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, everybody, Prince. Like he did stuff for everybody. Like how did you like Jimmy? Is like how did you deal with it?
It felt surreal, and he was excited. Like that's the other thing. It's like it's so real. It looks a certain way on TV, but when you're in there, it just looks like you're just in a room. Like anybody, you're surrounded by people way more famous than you, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you just it felt different. And I feel like when he called my name, when Taraji called my name, like these are people that, you know, like, and they like, you know what I'm saying? Like they excited for me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like an unmatched feeling. And you know what I'm saying? Like I was able to give glory to God and be, you know what I'm saying, like standing on, again, something I didn't conform to in terms of how I put it out or what I put into it. Like it's real music and a real documentation of my life and where I was in that moment. So like I said, that's, to me, that's the highest honor. And you know what I'm saying? Like the things that come after it, like everything is a higher level because of the level of like, I don't know, that's just important. Yeah. I don't know a better word to say.
But how do you see what I find so impressive is how you go so far forward, but you still able to look back. Because when the governor called you, you said, yeah, we could do this, but I want to do this for them schools. When most people, you know, they just like, I made it, I'm out. Like, why is it so important to you to look back no matter how far ahead you get? Why was that so important to you?
I think that's just how I was raised. That's just what I was always taught, was like, first of all black people is cousins. First of all. Yeah. Second of all, I have an understanding of how schools is funded just from being like present minded and like what's going on in our city politically and just historically. It don't even got to be at a current, like it's always been like that. So I'm seeing that my neighborhood high school gets a certain thing, but the schools in Wilmette or Winnett could get another thing. And I'm like, and I'm noticing that all the conversations are around the budget, but not necessarily how the schools is funded. And so when I got my in to be able to like highlight that, it gave me the perfect position and also to like support the schools and to be, you know, to be in the schools. Like that was like the most important thing for me, was to like, not to just give away some money to some kids, but to be able to go in there and check in on them periodically, to do stuff that's specifically bell to bell. So it's like not just some after school football team or something, you know what I'm saying? Like all of these things matter, but like I have specific, like this past year we did trade school specifically, but I couldn't do that if I wasn't like in the meetings and in the trenches, like, you know what I'm saying? And so I think of everything as a tool. Like, my dad used to talk about this dream that he had where he wake up in a room and there's a monster, but there's a tool in it that he uses to get past it. And then he goes into the next room, but to go into the next room, he's got to leave that tool behind. But when he gets in the next room, there's a tool set for him to defeat the next monster, on and on and on. And so it's like, I'm constantly getting new tools and resources to go forward. Like, it's not like I don't think of the Grammys as you know what I'm saying, or anything that I get as, you know what I'm saying, the end. It's just like, it's the tool to get to the next room.
Now, this is what I also find impressive. So, you win 3 Grammys. You're independent, real independent. You're an independent artist. So, after that, every brand want to do something with you. So that's financing. But you got record labels offering you your own states. Do you want Nevada or do you want South Dakota? We can't give you the whole California, but we might give you Northern California. Do you want Oregon? Do you want Maine? These companies is coming at you,
right,
offering you. What's the biggest offer you ever got? You don't got to say the company. The biggest record deal.
I had an $8 million offer, but this is before Coloring Book came out. To be honest, I didn't.
From Acid Rap.
Yeah.
You had $8 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's crazy is I didn't really get as many offers. I got more like publishing deal offers after Coloring Book came out, but like the recording deal offers, like I really didn't get none. I never really haven't thought about that until you just said it right now. But like, a lot of the offers that I was getting was after Acid Rap came out. So I was getting offers after my first mixtape came out. It was called 10 Day, about me being suspended from high school, right? That's 2012. After that came out, and it's not just because
that was the one you was
making
making
the CDs for it, yeah. So
10 Day.
So when 10 Day came out, right before it came out, and like a few weeks after it came out, I was touring with Donald Glover. So Childish Gambino, I'm his opener.
He's major.
You know what I'm saying?
It's major like
that pushed it super, like that put me in a whole bunch of different markets.
Different rooms.
I could do things that he couldn't do. I could sit outside with the CDs and sign them for people and dap up with everybody. So like, I'm gaining fans and traction off of that. And then also 2012 is when Keith blew up. So then MTV came to Chicago and did a whole documentary on the Chicago scene. And I'm in a couple of like seconds of a couple of episodes, like behind Vic. Yeah. But when they went to Chicago, a bunch of labels went to Chicago. So I started meeting with different label heads, not label heads, but like people that worked at different labels.
And just talk.
And they was like inviting me out to New York and to LA. So then I'm using those trips to go like shoot my first music video for Acid Rap, for this video called Juice, and like shooting other stuff. So I'm using everything as a tool. When they fly me out here, I'm gonna go connect with this producer. I'm gonna go meet with these other people. And so I started getting a whole lot of label deals after, like in the fall after 10 Day came out. And then I basically told them to stop sending me deals because it was costing money that I didn't have for this random lawyer to read and send it back. You know, you get charged every time they like even read some shit.
So they sent you, how many deals he sent you? Was any of the deals interesting?
I mean, they was interesting, but they were terrible deals. I didn't understand as much as I understand now. But like, they would be like 3 album deals with 3 options for $200,000. So it's like, and so basically I got to make these 3 albums with no like period of time set for it, just like 3 albums. So they could tell me it's going to be 6 years before I get to release those 3 albums, right? And then I have $200,000 to make those those 3 albums. And then an option that's up to them if they want to keep me for another 3 albums at the same rate, or a slight increase depending on what they want. And within those 3 albums, I could ask for more money, but then I end up owing them, you know what I'm saying, and additional monies outside of recouping that $200,000. So I didn't understand it on that level at the time, but at the time that looked interesting to me because it's like $200,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So that was at the time between 10 Day and Acid Rap. After Acid Rap came out was when I started getting more crazy deals. And I ended up doing another project independently under a different name with this band called Donnie Trumpet and the Social Experiment, this project called Surf. And because Acid Rap blew up, I was able to get hella features on it. So I had like J. Cole's on there, Big Sean, Erykah Badu, Busta Rhymes, fucking, like, who else? I don't know. Tons of people. Like, it's actually crazy. And I put that out for free too. And at that time, you know what I'm saying, another tool, like, because that project was my follow-up to Acid Rap, Apple had interest in working with me. And I was able to get them to put the project out for free. This was the first time that, you know what I'm saying, there was that other thing that with YouTube, where YouTube, like, they just put it on their phones. Yeah. This one wasn't just put on your phone, but it was like, if you went to the Apple store, this is the first project that was for free, because that was also my thing, was like, because my like Acid Rap and 10 Day was only on streaming services, I'm like, my is for free for anybody. So I burn CDs, give them out for free, or I, you know what I'm saying, put it on YouTube or SoundCloud or whatever for free. But I made that relationship with Apple when I did that free project. And so when they came to me and were talking to me about doing the Apple Music, it was perfect because I already had a relationship in the building. They had already seen me do a free project, so they knew that I was like a person that basically was down with streaming. Like, streaming at that time for most artists, and rightfully so, was looked at weird because it's like, why would I put out my music to people where they don't have to buy it from me, where they could just stream it? So they looked at the situation and the fans and how people engage with my music and was like, we want to do an exclusive one with you. And this was like at a time when they was like, that was like a big deal. Like, projects used to come out exclusively, you know what I'm saying? Frank and a lot of stuff on Tidal was exclusive and shit back in the day. But yeah, I did mine on there, and I feel like that kind of like ushered in streaming as like a viable way for to get music. It's like, we could just, like, I don't know how many people bought subscriptions to Apple just to get my album, but it was like, that was like the beginning of that era. And it's kind of crazy to see how much shit changed since then.
How do you, Acid Rap come out, you doing good for yourself at the time, I could say, or you still struggling?
Struggling? Hell no, I'm not struggling. So when Acid Rap comes out, I would say I'm kind of struggling, but I don't want to ever paint it like I didn't have somewhere to stay. Like, I was
I ain't saying that. I said you got somewhere to stay, but it's like,
I wasn't making a lot of money. No, when Acid Rap came out, I went on tour with Mac Miller, and I was not making a lot of money, but I was basically, in that case and most of the tours that year, I was paying to be on tour. But once that same year, in the fall, I went on my first headliner tour. So I was the main act and just went and played like, 500 to 800 cap rooms, but I was selling the out. And after that, like, I think I made a lot of money on that tour, like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
All right, so, but it come out, Acid Rap come out, and this is what I'm trying to say. Acid Rap come out, a label come to you, offer you $8 million.
Not that same year. No, I don't want to.
It's not the same year.
No, this is like.
But I'm talking about after Acid Rap come out though. This is before Coloring Book.
Yeah.
So Acid Rap come out. You go on your first, you still undercard, Mac Miller 18. Acid Rap come out, you do the tour, they offer you $8 million, and you say no. Why? Because
basically, you start to learn more and more things about the industry. So if you're an artist, it's the exact same thing as in potting. Your IP is anything that you create.
Yes.
So it's like, naturally, anybody that's a rapper right now that don't got a deal, you own your masters, right? And you own all the royalties associated with your masters. And you could pass down that IP to your children. You could, you know what I'm saying? There's people that are doing like venture capitalist companies now and selling it, right? So it's like you own that IP that can be exploited in any way. And even if you don't have the means to manufacture 1 million CDs right now or to do 1 million posters, there are people that can and will. And that's where the record labels came in, right? So record labels for a long time did these things called 360 deals, where not only do they own the masters to your product, but also all the image and likeness around it. And when you're an artist, the most important thing that you own is your image and likeness, because, you know, you want to be able to sing a song, but somebody got to buy a ticket first for you to sing the song. You want to play them your music, but somebody got to buy a CD first to play the music. So all the things attached to it, those are all different, like ways to make money. I don't know why I'm losing hella words today, but you know what I'm saying? Ways to make money. So like, I started to realize that I was making money in these other spaces. So the year after Acid Rap comes out, I do a bunch of festivals too. You know what I'm saying? And
you're getting bags at them festivals.
Yeah, the shows, it's like really, like I just said, tickets, merch, hard sales.
Brand deals.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Brand deals, being able to sell somebody's company is like a big part. Like advertising is probably the biggest part of like monies that are made from rap, because it's a gamble, like, like but it's like, I think I learned about all of these other ways to retain my own money, to make new monies, and to retain the rights to my shit, because that shit is going to my children. Feel me? So I feel like the value also is, the value of any deal that's coming to you is with the eyes on, or with like the belief that you're gonna make them more money than that, right? Like if you buy something that you looking at as an investment, the whole idea is that they gonna make more money. You're gonna make more money off of the thing that you're investing in. So I'm looking at deals and thinking like, okay, if they're gonna make this much money, or if I'm gonna make this much money, then they probably gonna make at least 3 times as much as this, right? And I just started thinking, okay, well, I could try and make that money myself. And like you said, through brand deals, and there's way more ways to make money now too. But at the time, brand deals, like doing shows, doing merchandise, and carrying yourself a certain way, like, though it's gonna continue to make its own money. And I think I just was blessed enough to like really like see that through to the point that, like, not to sound corny, but blessings kept falling in my lap. Certain looks that I got, like being on Kanye's album, like that was a huge, huge thing for me. Like that pushed me into a lot of people's vision. And like I was saying earlier, being on SNL, like having visibility, and then being able to shine in those moments is key.
You know what else is like? How do you deal with life? You walk off the Grammy stage and you got to go back to being a human now. You still got to do regular things. What was the obstacles and the side effects of success?
I mean, for one, like, ego is tough to deal with.
When you say that, what you saying, from you or
from myself, I mean, from other people too, but like, you know, it's just like your understanding of self when you're like in the public eye and being, you know what I'm saying, marketed and being, I don't want to say exploited, that sounds the wrong way, but being like, you know, just highly visible, it'll f with your ego. It'll just make you think differently of yourself, of like how you should maintain relationships, how you should, you know, where your time should be spent, how much time should be, you know, allocated for other people versus yourself, and what it looks like to allocate time for yourself. Like, I was also really young, you know what I'm saying? So I was 23 when I won the Grammys and I already had a kid. So like, just learning through all of the relationships that I had and had made, like, was, I think, just tough to navigate. It wasn't like it was like immediately emotionally heavy for me. It was like something that I was just like Harlem shaking through, I guess. But it was like, it was pressure though. And I think when after like a year of like living like in the aftermath of, like you said, like one of those Grammys, like I had to instantly go on tour, started working with CPS to do the grants for the schools.
Yeah.
You know, it was a lot of shit that was happening in 2017. A year later, I got engaged. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I lived a lot of life in the 2 years after Acid Rap came out. That was like, you know, a lot of me pouring into people, a lot of me exhausting myself, a lot of, you know, but also a lot of like great groundwork too. Like sometimes that work is like, even though it's tiring, like it's life and experience that like put me closer to being where I am today. You know what I mean?
How is it that you know, and the reason I want to talk about this, because it's a very important part of this, the journey of being an independent artist. One of the things that usually keep the lights on most of the time is the merch. Yeah. Sometimes people won't make music, make money off the music, they'll make money off the merch. The hat. Tell us the story of the hat.
Yeah, so the story of the hat goes all the way back to high school. Like I used to just always wear hats, like fly hats, literally fly hats, but also like I had like exclusive teams. I used to like hats, like streetwear and sports teams. Yeah. But I would always get them confiscated at school. So, but I'll come back the next day with a different hat and just try and duck security and shit. And so when the end of the school year day would come, they would let everybody come in and take their hat out, and then they would just give me the box at the end because there'd be so many of my hats in there. So it's just like a hat was always, I don't know, it was because I liked Michael Jackson when I was a kid or what it was, but I just always loved having hats. So my first mixtape cover, Brandon painted, I got the hat on. The joint was from a random photo that he took of me where I didn't have a hat on. So I always used to hate on that. So when I got to the coloring book joint, I was wearing the Sox hat all the time. And I had a really good relationship with the Sox at the time. And I still with the Sox, but they used to always like give me express written consent to wear their like Sox hat in magazines and all types of shit, and would never really trip. And then something happened where they acted weird one time about me using it or something, and I felt like I didn't want those problems when my album would come out. So I took the picture of me holding my daughter, that's the cover, and it's like, you don't get to see the picture of me holding a baby, but I wanted to get the expression of me holding my kid. And I got on a Sox hat and I'm leaning down, and I told Brandon maybe a week or so before the album came out, I'm like, take the Sox logo off just in case. And he was like, what you want me to put on there? It was my third mixtape, so I'm like, I wanted to put a 3, but I wanted to make like a specific design to it, like a little slash on it so I could trademark it and shit. And I sent it over to him, and the next time that I performed, I needed a 3 hat. And so I just kept rocking it, and I knew that, you know, people will rock with it just on some like merch pieces being crucial, but seeing somebody uniformed, like seeing something that, like I learned that from Donald Glover, like he was wearing a shirt for a long time that he eventually sold. And it's like when you, well actually I don't know if he ever sold it, but he wore the same outfit for like a year everywhere that you saw him, and it created an iconography around it. Yeah. And so when you can sell an experience, like people like that, it feels like, you know what I'm saying, like you a kid. And I feel like it wasn't that long after that I started producing the hats with New Era. And, you know, like, I think anytime you could give an experience to the fans, that's like all the way that's why I think Tyler be going so crazy, Tyler the Creator. Because he'd be like, with each each time he puts out a project, like he has like a specific look and feel and aesthetic to it that's like, you know what I'm saying, just something that you could live in.
Let me ask you this though. How many hats did you sell?
I have no idea. I wish I knew, but hundreds of thousands at the very least.
But you had the thing with New Era, but you ain't stopped to get it manufactured yourself?
I mean, I did do some that were like dad hats that were like different vibe, but like, I think the New Era thing is so cool because it's so attached to hip hop.
Yeah.
It's like, you know.
Did they come to you? Like, yo, let's partner up?
No, it was my idea. I knew this guy named Eddie from a while ago that had always worked at New Era, but was like more, I think, like regional because, you know, they print the hats overseas. But no, I knew that I wanted to do the hat with New Era because I was wearing a New Era Sox cap in the painting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, we originally printed on some, like I said, like some dad hats that were like not the right quality. I had to ask to get them changed to the New Era thing, but we already had that relationship, like I said, from a while ago. When I actually did a collaboration with the Sox, I think in 2014, where I redesigned some logos for them.
Now, me and you had a conversation before this, and you said something very important. You said the internet is not real life. Elaborate on that.
Yeah, I feel like we live in just a hyper social time, like hyper internet ass time, where like, you know, a lot of our communication or collaboration is organized online, which is good, you know what I'm saying, for direct communication. But social media as like a web is so what's the right way to put it? Like monetized, that there's not really like a democracy of ideas. Like most of the stuff that you see is curated for you, you know, through algorithm, and that algorithm is able to be manipulated by, you know, just by activity. So we look at shit anyway as like how many likes or how many retweets does something have, right? Like it's on a quantitative scale is how we typically interact with stuff. And I would say going all the way back to like probably 2018, there's been like a very like easily manipulated system of getting information out, whether it's from like brands or media or politicians, all the way down to like just regular people understanding how to use bots or shit posting pages.
Oh yeah.
And so
it's shit like, posting pages. I like that. Yeah.
So it's like those, like that way of getting information, it's like real people kind of have to look at it with like a little bit of a squinty face, because it's like there's all of our information is being given to us with an intention behind it. You know what I'm saying? So like the more violent that you see, the more miscreant that you see, the more, you know, advertising that you see. Like everything is curated for you to be a consumer, docile or misinformed. And so I think when we interact with it, we just gotta kind of look at it not as like, you know, a straight truth, but just something that somebody's trying to, I guess, get something off with. And I think like what I got to do a lot in the last few years, if anything, is live real life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like being outside, especially in Chicago, but I've been traveling a lot, like going out of the country a lot. But like in the real world in Chicago and in other parts of the world, I receive a love that's like a different something that you can't access on the internet. And I think like it took me a while to even learn that, and I think traveling helped me with that. being outside in Chicago, continuing in the programs, like that helped me a lot. But I think like it's something that sometimes I'm scared for the world for, because we're at such a crucial time in terms of just where we are as a society. It's not even just in America, it's globally. Like just where we are, the internet holds a lot of power. And like I said, it's just easily manipulated.
So how do you go into the studio? And what energy and what's the motivation, what inspiration you taking into when you say I'm going to do Starline? What is that? Like, how do it look? Is you just sit in the crib one day chilling, call the crew up, like, let's get busy. Like, come on, you know what I mean? Troops, let's get together, mount up. Like, how do it start from just living your life, traveling, doing what you're doing to saying it's time for Starline?
That's a great question. It's both of those two things. Like, it's like, one part is like self-realization. So I had this spot out in the suburbs that I use as a production studio.
Okay.
And when I say production, I mean like film and stuff. So I got a bunch of cameras. I really got into film like in 2021.
Directing and stuff, writing, everything.
So I was like, I started playing around with the cameras. We first started off doing like little.
What type of cameras you were shooting on?
Sony FX9, FX3.
Okay. Yeah.
And then just playing with different lenses on those. But I played around with all kinds of cameras now that I've been shooting more videos and stuff. But when I first started, I was on the FX9 and the FX7s, and the FX3. And at a certain point, I was like, man, I want to do something bigger, but I don't got a whole bunch of actors or a budget. And I was like, oh, I should just shoot a music video. And to do that, I had to make a song. So I made a song so I could shoot a video on a song called The Heart and the Tongue. And it's just about really not knowing what to write about, but knowing the importance of my voice and how good I am at making a song. And it's probably one of my illest raps ever. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like,
but was you as good as making a video as you good making songs?
At that time,
how was the video? How did it? At
that time, no. But what I will say is that it's still one of my great videos. And what it is like it taught me. I watched this video about Wes Anderson, the director, and auteurism, how he like makes it so that every time you see his movie, you know it's his movie. It's like certain things aesthetically that he does. He always makes things flat, and he always turns the camera a certain way, and just all of that. So I'm like, with that first video, after watching the video about Wes Anderson and then making mine, I set a lot of ground rules for how my videos would look and feel. And to this day, that was 5 years ago. Like, my videos still have certain things. There's always text in the center of my screens. It's always like a super wide and a super close-up profile shot. Like, certain things gonna always stay throughout my videos, but that was like the first step of it. And that like kind of launched me into the music and launched me into like, you know, knowing that I was on a project. And so then I had a meeting like maybe a month or so later where I called up a lot of the people that like, you know, put me in position or that I helped put in position that are across all these different industries that are from Chicago though, that like I know and love, and basically had them go to this dinner. Vic was there, Joe Freshgoods, I think Drew Barber might have been there, like a bunch of like, you know what I'm saying, Chicago folks, that Mary McKean from the Salt Shed, like people that are in different spaces, and was like, yo, it's real, I'm working on this shit, I'm gonna have to call on y'all for help over time. Like, and a lot of them I didn't immediately engage with, but the first person that I was like needed to be with was Vic. And so we started renting out this crib in LA and just making hella music, doing writing prompts, like going back to the basics. I didn't even tell you this, like all this shit really started in an after school program, like an after school program for like, basically for poetry and shit. And a lot of the rappers that are from Chicago that blew up, Saba and Lucky and Mick Jenkins, and a lot of us went to this after school program, No Name, that we would do open mic at, and everybody come up and rap and sing, and we kind of like create a community out of that. But like, I was always keen on being a performer first and then a writer. And because I knew that I could perform the out of whatever. And I was a really good writer, but whatever I write, once I get on stage, I can make it raw. You know what I'm saying? But it was in that space that I like really learned to like not that, like write the best verse every time. Like write it like it's the most important rhyme you ever wrote, and get out everything you need to get out on paper, no matter how crazy it sounds or vulnerable it sounds or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Really put the art into it. And when I got back with Vic, like we was doing writing prompts and exercises that we would do when we was in high school. So that like really, I think, launched us.
It's crazy you mentioned Saba, because his song was one of my most played songs.
That's my brother.
One of for years. When I'm telling you, let me tell you, I met Saba in this building at the Foundry. This way, when he was doing his first tour, years ago, he came to the Foundry, which is a smaller part of the Fillmore. He was doing a show. He came through with like Marty Grimes and them from out the Bay Area. They was doing a tour. You know, it was like, you know, that room was like 400. After that, it was like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm having a busy day. Yeah. That's one of my favorite songs. So it's crazy that all y'all was just creators, was just
14 together. Years old and like a
and everybody went.
And
everybody, and you know, and it's just, you know, it's just crazy. But I look at it like, when I see you, I see bravery.
Oh, thank you.
I see fearlessness. I see resilience. And I see just creativity. Like, and you know what's so good about creativity and art? There's no boundaries. There's no rules. And I think that if you follow the rules, you wouldn't be here. You're a rule breaker. Like, in order to be a real creative, in order to be a real like artist, and artist is the person that create art of different variations. I think you really got to be like, you got to understand that there's no rules. So there's no lines you got to stand. There's no things you can't say. There's no things you can't do. There's no colors you can't use. It's like this idea. And when I see it, I see you. Just to come out with something like acid rap, you know, coloring book. Just to say, no, I'm gonna just stay independent because it's tempting. Yeah, I can use this money. Yeah, but I like the fact that I could own me. I could pass something on. And the fact that you even understand, like you said, oh, I need to make the 3 this way so I can trademark it. Like, do you understand that a lot of artists that people know of, they don't even own the trademark to their name, the labels do? Some artists don't even got their name trademarked.
Yeah.
So to see that you just were so locked into, and this is why education is extremely important. And I'm not saying just going to school. I'm talking about educating yourself on your craft and knowing where you want to go. It's like you knew where you wanted to go. So, you know, just still being out here, still touring. I said to myself, I don't want to talk to Chance about music. That's easy because everybody talked to him about music. I want to talk to him about him. And most of this conversation was about just you, your journey. Because nobody talk about your journey. Nobody talk about, you know, what normalize you and people can have the human connection to and people can see, that's what I'm doing right now. I got to keep going. I'm really on the right path.
Yeah. Fact.
You know what I mean? Because people will see you and they'll be like, oh, he had a machine around him. Oh, he had the packaging. Oh, he had this, he had that. All you had is just belief. You said, I'm going to believe in me and I'm going to make this person believe in me. Then that's going to turn into 2. It's going to turn into 3. I'm going to be signing CDs. I'm going to be outside the Mac Miller concerts, going out at Childish Gambino concerts, signing CDs. And I'm going to just, so the story, I think we live in a world where people be so fascinated with your glory, they forget your story. Or they never even tap and investigate your story to see what was the ingredients. The story was the ingredients that was able to create acid rap, coloring book, Starline.
Yeah.
And to be able to still be here, still be relevant in a culture where as though relevancy is like fake now. There's no such thing.
Facts.
And the reason I say that is because they tell us that relevant mean you got to stay here and don't go nowhere else. You got to go and get on the stage and rap. You got to keep like that. That's relevancy is like you can't move. Like the fan has convinced people to believe. They convinced some of the greatest artists in the world, because I be seeing dudes break down in plain sight. Some of the biggest artists in the world, they convinced them that relevancy mean that you got to stay in front of my face every day, and if you don't, you're not relevant no more.
Facts.
If you go take care of your family, if you go on a healing journey, if you go to do it, you might say, you know what? I want to go to Rome, or I want to go to Africa, and I just want to read for a year. I got these 100 books I'm gonna read all year. I'm gonna chill. Oh, you're not relevant no more.
Yeah.
It's like it's a fear. It's a button that people could push to have you in fear and to have you just doing whatever they want you to do for them. And it'd be like, to me, relevancy is this. I know that I'm not going to be here forever. So while I'm here, I'm gonna experience all of life. Blessings and all the life opportunities while I'm here. And I'm gonna go on a journey. And when I have time or when I feel like sharing, I will. But when I come out and share, you're gonna appreciate it because it's authentically me.
Yeah.
I think that's what relevancy is to me.
Right.
And you always been relevant.
Yeah.
And I think you need to like always pat yourself on the back, because not only that you always been relevant, you shared a journey with us that can always be used and to be a part of somebody else's blueprint, to be able to like, as a road, like you're not from Portland, but you're a trailblazer. You created something, you showed us, because there's somebody that's sitting right now in their apartment on a MacBook and a Apollo and a little TL mic, a little mic,
Facts.
$300 mic, and they just like, and next year they gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna go next year. Like, they don't even know that they're gonna go. They just know that when I come home from work, they might be working at a Best Buy or the grocery store, that you created opportunity to see, like, I could be at the Grammys next year. I really created a piece of art. So you art, you're a giver. You're a rememberer. See, a lot of people don't remember, and I say remember, and I make up my own words sometimes. They're like,
that's a great word, though.
You'll remember it because you remember the people that the world forget about. Think about it. You know what I mean? And you definitely is a visionary. Because you told him, you said, nah, man, I don't want to sign this deal. You're a visionary, and you seen what the future hold, and you never thought that it'd be this battle for IP now. It's this World War III. It's like this unbelievable IP battle. I want your IP. Give me your IP. I don't own your IP. I gave it up. I signed it away. Oh my God, I'm trying to. Is it gonna reverse back?
Yeah.
Is I'm gonna get this? Then you got the dudes just sitting there like, oh my, so I can do what I want. I can license it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, I think it's like when you see certain TV shows. When you know, you just be like, I know George Jefferson and everybody love the show, but is his family getting paid off the day? Who own the IP to this?
Yeah.
Because it's in syndicate, it's always gonna be on. The reruns is always gonna be playing.
No, facts.
So just to know that, it's like, and you sat here today, and I want to thank you for educating people. See, this was you being a teacher. You also got teacher to your name. Because you sat here and you, there's a lot of people that's gonna watch this and use it like, damn, I needed that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we gotta share. We gotta share, man.
You share information.
Share.
So keep doing your thing.
No, I appreciate you for real.
You know what I mean,
man.
keep doing your thing. And best song on the album is, and you know, sometimes people got to be biased. You know, you got to be biased. Even if it's sometimes like you'll be like, no, Chicago Bulls, that's my team. even though they might be trash in this instant, or the Chicago Bears.
Oh my God, don't bring up the Bears.
You see Chicago, you see
Caleb playing decent. Didn't we win the other day? Caleb playing decent.
No, not the Eagles though, but that's another story. So you come in here and it's like, I got to go with hometown, Speed of Love.
Wow, man.
Jasmine.
That's my
Philly.
girl. That's
Jasmine,
girl.
Philly. So I got to shout out
while we even here. I just got to shout out Jilly from Philly.
Yeah.
She did a real solid favor for me. She not on the album, but that's been somebody that's
Jilly
been in my life.
is the truth.
She is, and her family is the truth, and they helped me out. And again, it's not my story to share, but they put me in position, so I always appreciate them for that.
But listen, bro, keep winning. keep growing, keep teaching, keep exploring. That's the most important thing, I think, as long as we explore, because one day, and it might seem like it's far away from here, but we don't know. One day we gotta leave. And the things that we do and the information that we leave, that's history. See, because I think, I'm gonna leave it here. You gotta do things when you living that's still living when you're not living. Mm-hmm. And you doing that, bro. Yeah. Appreciate you being on Where's Wallo.
Thank you, man.
Keep doing your thing and keep glowing and keep growing and keep flowing. We out of here. Man.
Love y'all.
Chance the Rapper, Where's Wallo?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.